everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today I'll be taking a look at the new drawn and quarterly book, The Great Beyond by Lea Murawiec. This is a really cool book, just came out, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but I want to give you a sense of the story and what the art looks like and everything like that. It has a really nice ending as well that's not necessarily what I expected, but really I think thematically is very pertinent to the times and everything like that, as is the whole book. So on the opening sequence here, you get this really interesting thing where you have this die cut, really hard piece of cardstock paper here that has the main character's name, Manel Naher, and then you jump into the story. And this is pretty cool because the story is very much about getting your name known. It's set in the future. So we're introduced here to Manel Naher, someone who really loves books, has read the whole bookstore, but leads like a quiet life. And then you see here that Manel is discovering that there's someone else who shares her name. And so really quickly you understand that this is a world where people like don't share names. It seems like everyone's trying to have a unique name. And it's really freaking her out that there's another Manel Naher who has become a really, really famous pop star. Then once you go outside, you'll see most of the book is in this kind of just one color, spot color with the art. There's no black in the book. It's like a dark, like bluish, greenish color, it looks like. And then you get outside and all of a sudden you have all these other colors on things. And you see that the whole town is just plastered in these signs with names. And this is throughout the book. This is the case. So this is a city where people's names are the most important thing, and it's most definitely a commentary on our current times that everyone's vying for what they call presence. And you'll see here that like Manel is going to a job where they just stare at people's names for 2 minutes at a pop. The names just go by. So there's it's never explained what the mechanism is, which is fine. This isn't just like a projection of a future world of ours. This is like some other reality where people's names, like being thought of, keeps them alive, and they're able to track this certain amount of presence that someone has. It's kind of like a Black Mirror episode, I guess, but from an alternate dimension. So here you see Manel actually has a heart attack because her presence is getting too low. And this is due to the fact that A, she's a quiet person who doesn't know a lot of people and likes it that way. And B, because she's sharing her name with someone famous, even if someone reads her name to think, it's her name, they're supposed to be thinking about her, they're more likely to think about the pop star because that's who they know. And so she's diminishing in presence. Her and her friend have also been planning to escape the city and go to the Great Beyond, which is the title of the book. But this puts like a hitch in that because she can't get away without kind of falling apart. And so she has to be engaged in this process of getting more popular, getting more well known to get her name known so that she can have the energy even to escape. There's a lot of really beautiful images in this book, like this right here. I think people who have watched the channel for a while know that something so rhythmic like this is automatically going to appeal to me. But just the use of these colors in here against this printed spot color is really, really nice. And then on an image like this, where you've been seeing the signs as they are throughout the whole book, to have them all put down so flat and so unimportant kind of, but then still having the shadows showing like, hey, this one's actually two oval signs and we're only seeing it as rectangle. There's just something about that trick of flattening out something that is circular from the front and is still going to look rectangular from the side that makes for a really, really nice visual. And there's something in there metaphorical too about how when you see things from a different perspective, it can look totally different. But I wouldn't have enough of that formulated in my head to talk about it right now. But it seems thematically related to the book in some way, that she's living in this kind of superficial, artificial society. And if you see it from one angle, everything seems really important. But if you see it from the other, everyone's all the same and it's flat and it's hollow. I think there's something along those lines being said with that spread there. And then you can see just going through Here now, Manel's on this path to getting enough presents even to just stay alive, and eventually gets too deep into it and caught up in the whole thing. I don't want to go too much more into the story, but you'll just see some of the other really, really nice page layouts, really cool visuals that are in the book. Some really cool comics formalisms here where these characters have run down the stairs and this character's still up here shouting, "Wait for me." So even though this is the first one you see, really it's the last one you read. And this is to be understood, obviously, as a bunch of floors going down. So really, really enjoy things like that. And then when you get some of these images here, as the scenes change, the art, not the art style will change, but the presentation will change. It can get much more abstract. So here they're obviously at a club, and these layouts are just amazing. I think in the abstract, and you can follow along what's going on with them. So a really, really cool book. An artist, I think this is Lea Murawiec's debut graphic novel. I think that's, this is a sign of really great things to come from this artist. Oh, and I have one more tag here, actually. Here's another one of these pages, much later in the book, but you'll see the continued play with the art. This really, really distorted, exaggerated figure work, but makes for beautiful compositions. And then here you have the car again on the bottom, but it almost kind of all reads as one image with these little light blurs going behind. So Lea Murawiec is already a very, sorry, I said Nar. Lea Murawiec is a really, really powerful artist. And as a debut book, it's a really good read. It's a great story with a really great point that's super on point for what's going on in the world today. And then B just has these really clever, amazing visuals all throughout that sync up to the theme. So I think this is about as good of a debut book as you could get, and I really look forward to seeing more from Lea Murawiec.
Make sure to like, smash that subscribe button, and ring that bell.